Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail heroic. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Important things are needed to be.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello, world. It's Bird O' Prey 5, Qapla. And apologies for being a little late, but give me one more second as I have to fix this. Let's see. There we go. Keeping crop size. Okay. And convert. So here's the deal. I was going to use my Deep Space Nine layout so that we could watch along with Strange New Worlds, take a screenshot every 30 seconds or so while we reviewed the episode, just to have something to play. And I, stupid me, forgot that the display aspect ratio of Strange New Worlds is completely different than DS9. DS9 is set to be 4:3, and Strange New Worlds is extra wide. So I am right at this second rerunning the Strange New Worlds video on a 4:3 aspect ratio, and then in another couple minutes I'll be all ready to play it in the view screen, just so we have some idea of what's going on in the background as we speak. But as I said, as we speak, so if anyone would like to join the panel, please, you had to have seen Strange New Worlds, or at least have something to contribute to the Strange New Worlds discussion. And I ask that you please have headphones on so that we don't get any sound back. But if you can do it without headphones, you know your system. But we're going to try this new. So the link to join the panel is being put out now. If anyone wants to come up, you're welcome. If you don't, that's fine too. I've got plenty of stuff I'd like to bring up, but I did just go ahead and pin that message. I see we got quite a few people here already. Cinnabon Bunny, first in the chat, says Strange New Worlds was not good. It is Discovery level writing and logic on the Enterprise. It's not a new golden era of Trek. That was an absurd statement by Salty, and everyone should give him crap over it. And the sets were way too big. Okay, well, let's start with that first statement. You know what's in a bun? I got to agree. You touched the major issues. I watched this episode twice. First, the first run, after the first watch, I really didn't like it at all. After the second watch, it got a bit better, but it's still a disaster. And I really listen. Everybody has their own opinions. So if you really like this episode or you really like this series, you know what, good for you. I'm not going to hold it against you personally. Obviously, we all know people who like. Hell, there's even people who like Star Trek Discovery, and more power to them. However, if you don't like Star Trek Discovery and you don't like Star Trek Picard, I really am finding hard to understand what you're truly liking about Strange New Worlds. And you'll say, well, it's got Captain Pike. It's got, this is what we wanted it to be. But does it? I don't know. Well, and that's what we'll have to talk about. And I'll be honest, my biggest problem is that it keeps bringing Discovery up over and over and over again. And in this one episode where they make this tiny change that at first I could understand people say, yeah, this adds to the story. And this is where we have young Spock and a young, I don't mean young, I mean a teenager or 20-something, young 20, late teens, Spock and T'Pring getting together physically on Vulcan. And you're like, well, this doesn't offhand really destroy canon, but it does. Because if you rewatch Amok Time like I did, I watched Strange New Worlds twice, but I also watched Arena twice, and I watched Amok Time twice. And if you watch Amok Time, it's pretty clear Spock has not been with T'Pring since he was a child. And more disturbing is that there's how do I even have it? Okay, let's see. How can I display this? Okay. Okay. You see what Spock. This is what Spock is looking at in his room on the Enterprise. Spock is looking at T'Pring, who looks to be, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. That's the last time they were supposed to have been met. In fact, I think he says at 7 years of age. That was the last time he has seen T'Pring, according to Amok Time. Okay? And so you can understand an adult Spock looking at the picture of this child, contemplating what he did with his life or what the future of his life is going to be, and looking at the most recent picture he has of his soon-to-be wife. However, if instead Spock was actually banging T'Pring into his teenage years and into his early 20s, and he knows what she looks like, and presumably has a more recent photograph of her, then what type of monster is Spock sitting in his room alone looking at pictures of T'Pring as a 7-year-old child? They are retconning Spock to be a file, not the good kind. This is a very bad retcon. I doubt they would have had the balls to do it if Leonard Nimoy was still alive. This isn't by accident. This isn't by accident. They knew what they were doing. Okay. Let me get the other video started. Okay. Okay, I got that going. So Cinnabon says the sets were way too big. That's something I can get over. That is something I can get over. The sets being too big. Miss Lindell says, when are you all going to learn about Salty Anti-Tracker? He's just a hanger-on trying to go with where he thinks the crowd will be. Honestly, I don't think that's what he is. I don't think that's what it is. Aravic Sonder uses his 5 month of membership to say, Qapla, bird of prey. Hope your sad day is going well. Please say hi to Mamo Prey. Thank you, Aravic. Mamo Prey is here. Sis O'Prey is here. Nephew O'Prey is here. And yes, things are going well. Sis O'Prey got booked for a Nephew O'Prey whose birthday is next month. The local pool club by her home. So it looks like Nephew O'Prey will be having his first pool party for his 2nd birthday. And that looks really, really fun. So Cinnabon says the engineering section looked like it took the entire secondary hull. I guess that's why the shuttlecraft didn't land to drop off Pike. That was one of my main problems with this episode. It seems like nobody noticed that they had a shuttle bring Pike up to the ship, but the shuttle didn't land in the ship. What's the point of using a shuttlecraft if you're not going to land the shuttle in the ship? They brought the shuttlecraft, and then Pike just beamed from the shuttle into the Enterprise. He could have beamed from anywhere in the planet back to the Enterprise. You don't need a shuttle to get you close to the Enterprise, especially with the way that they play fast and loose with the transporters in this episode. In this episode, in like 10 seconds, the transporter operator figures a way to beam medication directly into Spock's eyeball with zero notice, directly into Spock's eyeball, a medication that didn't exist 10 minutes before. And you can't beam him up from Montana? That makes literally zero sense. From everything we know about the Enterprise, even the NX-01 Enterprise should have been able to beam somebody up from Montana to orbit. So yeah, that makes no sense. That said, I'll also say this Enterprise looks good. There's no getting around it. I'm not going to go out and buy one, but if I had the money and if I enjoyed the series, I would probably buy one. But since I have neither the extra cash nor love of the series, I'm not going to. But if I was loving it, then sure, this is a beautiful version of the Enterprise. Not that we needed another version, but it is a pretty ship. Miss Lindell says, yeah, it's being made by the same folks who brought you Discovery and Picard. And, that's what I was hoping for, Miss Lindell, that despite them being the same brains, that somehow they would have figured something out. And the unfortunate thing is they clearly didn't. Even they are the same people who've been bringing us Discovery and Picard, and they are clearly open to making the same mistakes that have been made over and over again. And that's just ignoring canon, not only ignoring canon, doubling down on disco canon when they should be distancing themselves from Discovery canon whenever possible. But no, they go the complete opposite, and they'll double down on the worst parts of disco canon. Like, the literal reason for this episode to exist is because of one of the stupidest parts of season 2 was that all the red lights, all the red signals appeared in the sky into nearly the same time instantaneously, which is fundamentally impossible, especially for a civilization that doesn't have faster than light travel. They don't have faster than light travel. They don't have faster than light sensors. So then it should have taken hundreds of years for the light from all those red, whatever they were, red wormholes to make their way to this planet. And instead they're going with, it was all visible instantly. And for some reason, because you could see what was going on and you had powerful telescopes, you're able to recreate the warp drive from telescopes. It's not even worth arguing at that point. You've already given up. You've given up. Cinnabon says he also should have probably been killed when the shuttle slew right by next to him landing. It's a good thing that shuttle engines have zero thrust power. Oh yeah, I was afraid for the horse. I thought the horse was going to be killed, and I guess Cinnabon was probably happy. He's like, kill that goddamn horse. But also, since when was the last time we saw an admiral fly themselves on a shuttlecraft? Was there nobody flying that admiral? The admiral was alone. Admiral. Speaking of which, that was Robert April. That was Admiral Robert April, who is well known as the first captain of the Enterprise. Now, obviously, the big thing is that they made Robert April a black man when he was a white man. But the only canon in which he was a white man was from the animated series. In the animated series, he's a white guy. He's married to a white woman, and I believe they have a family. What we know so far, he's a black guy. We didn't get any details on him or his family life. I personally don't care about that. The animated series was never fully canon to me. It was never fully canon, I suspect, to most Trek fans. And if they really wanted to just convert him or change his race, it's really not a big deal, because most, if not most, things in the animated series probably don't align to canon well. So that doesn't bother me. But it's worth noting they did do a race change, only to the point that had the race been the other way, does anybody truly think it would have changed? And I would say no. Cinnabon Bunny says, I'm putting this all in chat now because I'm leaving in a few. Okay, well, thank you, Cinnabon, for getting this out there. Miss Lundell says, give them a few months. There'll be buzz about a Section 31 show again. Oh God, don't even get us started on Section 31. Cinnabon says 3 people to run a ship. But for you, it's not a shuttle. Why would Starfleet even allow that? Who flew it home? Very good question, Cinnabon. Very good. Yeah, like the USS Archer. Okay, thank you for making a ship to honor Captain Archer, later Admiral Archer. But why is it such a shitty little ship? And how could only 3 people run it? Yeah, it again, no sense is made by that. Cinnabon says med staff was incompetent, can't even keep 2 aliens sedated. Yeah, I mean, if that was you and going in for an operation, you would have some serious trouble. Anesthesiologists pay a fuck ton in insurance just to make sure that, God forbid, that happens to a patient. That, yeah, there's no excuses. No excuses. Cinnabon says, and the Federation is obviously an empire. Join or die is the Federation way. Well, it seems that way. Cinnabon says, oh yeah, the timeline in this completely contradicted Picard. So when do these wars actually take place? I guess first contact will have to be postponed. Yeah, the timelines really are confusing now. It seemed like they were trying to retcon that the eugenics war, World War III, and the second U.S. Civil War, which would all now be one long event, right? I totally got, I heard Pike say they all flowed together. Like it started off as a second U.S. Civil War. It then became a eugenics war, and then it just all became known as World War III. I don't have a problem with changing that, except for the fact that they just changed it in Picard, or they mentioned it in Picard. So I would like to have some idea on what is the current canon, because these things all can't be true at the same time. So listen, be honest. If it's a reboot of the series, then that's great. That's absolutely great. This is one of the millions of timelines that we saw in parallels. This is just one of those timelines that is different than the Prime, but also not the mirror universe. Just tell us. Just tell us that. Don't lie about it. Cinnabon says, have a good day. I'll listen when I'm driving. Take care, Cinnabon. Miss Lundell says, unusually late, aren't we? I apologize for that lateness. You guys understand the reason. Where are we? Oh, wow. There's a lot of chat. The Yorkshire Geek, the old Yorkshire Geek says, I enjoyed episode 1 of Strange New Worlds, fully expected to hate it, and was properly surprised. Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper, the old Yorkshire Geek. I had an open mind. I hoped I would love it. I truly did. Mamo Prey also, I'm sure, watched with an open mind. Unfortunately, for multiple reasons, many of which I've spoken about already, I just don't see why why people love it. I understand why people want to love it. I do. I get it. And yes, it's not as bad as Discovery. It's not as bad as Picard. Okay. But it's not substantially better either. I could make all the reasons to say, oh, it's brighter. It is. And Pike kills it as a captain, and he does. But Pike is basically just Captain Kirk light, okay? Or Captain Kirk, 1.0 or 0.99 beta. He's good. He's not as good as Kirk, but he's pretty good. He's pretty close. And yeah, it's a bit more modern, and we got more modern displays and more modern things. And I get it, and I like it to a point, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I would have preferred they just said this is a reboot, and we got Captain Pike, and he's got the Enterprise, and there might not be a Captain Kirk in this timeline at all. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? The Pike death. The Pike, Captain Pike is under PTSD because in Discovery, which I don't ever want to be reminded about, he saw his future. Now he saw his future. He's convinced he saw his death. And I believe the Klingon told him, the Kling Orc told him that if you touch the crystal, you do see your own death. So I understand why he thinks he saw his death. However, he did not see his death. At no point did Pike see his death. And yet he keeps talking that he did. He even said on this episode that he felt the pain of death. And yet at no time did they see Pike die. And at no time did Pike see his final fate. And we know that because we know what his final fate is. Pike's final fate is to live like a relatively young man with a woman he loves on Talos 3, I believe. Right? That's where he's going to live in paradise. What he saw was the worst his life is going to ever be. And yes, it is terrible, I'm sure. But you know what? As someone stuck in a hospital bed, rarely even getting into a chair, I feel like I am one of the few people who can truly understand what Pike was going through. And yeah, it's bad, but it's temporary, especially in his case. And he didn't feel his death because he didn't die. He doesn't die. Pike doesn't die. Pike lives. And welcome, number one, Qapla. Number one, do you have any opinions on Strange New Worlds?
Yeah, how come they're rearranging everything?
They are indeed. Star Trek nitpickers, Qapla, 47 Yorktown. Hello, young sir. Hello, 47 Yorktown. And Mike Richards, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. I got your email. Thank you so much. Mr. Londell says, pleb neista. Yes, it is it's not just for it's for everybody. Paul Shursky. Oh, Paul Shursky says, oh my, first live here. And I do have comments. Qapla, Paul Shursky. I am so happy it is your first live stream. I hope you're still here. I know I am way behind in the chat, 25 minutes behind. But Paul, if you would like to speak, you can click on that link and come up to the stream and join the panel. Or just type your comments in the chat, and I will do my best to get to them. Paul says the dialogue writing is still horrendous. It is, Paul. And he says, hey, let's not beam out from this elevator while we can and come back in half an hour with a bit of a plan. The stupidity of the actors. Absolutely, Paul. I was like, get everybody to safety. Beam out. Come back later. There's no reason you all have to go up and be put in danger right now. Star Trek Nitpicker says, my generous review of episodes 1 and 2. Yes, Star Trek Nitpickers did get to see Strange New Worlds episodes 1 and 2 already. Very jealous. Very, very jealous. Please check out Star Trek Nitpickers channel, guys. The link is up there. And Nitpicker says, yeah, the T'Pring stuff, I didn't even get to that in my review. The T'Pring stuff destroys everything they do here. They want to destroy canon. The T'Pring stuff makes Spock a bad person, in my opinion. But beyond making Spock into a bad person, they also have to go after the Gorn. And let's see. Do we have this? Is this ready to go? Of course not. I forgot to hit enter. Okay. So we'll keep going. They bring the Gorn in, and the entire way for Arena to work. And again, I watched it twice now since Strange New Worlds. Arena only works because it's very clear they had no idea the Gorn ever existed. Okay, if Starfleet knew the Gorn existed, then Starfleet was 100% in the wrong to put people on Cescus 3, I believe it is. Okay, if you put people on Cescus 3 and you know that's Gorn space, you know that's Gorn territory, then Kirk would be 100% in the wrong for trying to kill the Gorn without even knowing what they were doing, who they were. It runs afoul of everything we know about Captain Kirk, Starfleet, and the Federation. Why would... Also, to be frank, it also runs afoul of what we know of the Gorn. We're not sure the Gorn are terrible people at the end of Arena. We think the Gorn might have just been misunderstood, just as we had misunderstood the intentions of the Gorn. And these mating sacks. I mean, just not only are they going dark, they're going super dark. Why does this woman need to be rescued? Why? And to put it like, of course, she was the only one from her entire colony to survive, because the Gorn, for some reason, shoot the survivor into space. She's like, it's like throwing back a fish, but it isn't, because a fish can live. If you throw back one fish, that fish, for the most part, lives. If you shoot a human being into a rocket into a random area of space, that human dies every single time. Okay, it is a lottery chance. In fact, it's probably less than a chance of winning. You could probably win 4 Powerball lotteries for the chance of running into another rocket ship if it's that the Gorn just happened to send up or happened to be passing a Gorn launched rocket. I mean, if this is years before the Gorn incident, this is what, 10 years before the Gorn, before Cestus 3, and the Federation already knows the Gorn exist. They already know their mating practices. How is this allowed? No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And you can't tell me that this is great Trek if the writing is as bad as we've seen in Discovery. Frankly, the writing is worse. It's worse in the fact that it's hiding how bad it is, and nobody seems to want to talk about that. Nobody wants to be honest about it. Number one, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I mean, the one part they got right was that it took Pike to rescue Una, number one, instead of number one rescuing him, at least. You know what I mean? So they did make it where at least the white guy was actually useful in this series.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a long time since they've done anything where the white guy was the hero.
Yeah.
Because all of Picard, he's just being pulled around by literally pulled by Rafi and Seven and random little girls in the park and not Laris to do anything. And the people who are actually doing stuff tend to all be women. Of course, Rios gets a little bit of but even Rios isn't treated with all that much respect. I would say that New Trek is really into empowering women over men, even more so than people of color over white people. Which, if that's what they want to be, it's what they want to be. But I would say that if you're a man in Trek, you probably don't want to be a man in New Trek, and you certainly don't want to be a white man in New Trek because they have a habit of dying, and not anyone caring.
Right?
Nobody cares. Remember when that first guy who was quote unquote mansplaining to Michael just randomly dies because an asteroid hit his ship or his jump pod or whatever the hell it was? Nobody ever brought him up again. Captain Pike, Michael, nobody was like, oh shit, he's dead. Never going to mention him again. But if a woman dies, oh, we have to have a full-on funeral. We have to have people talk and cry and well, yes, you should. He or she was part of the crew. But no. A man dies just to get rid of the body. Woman dies, we're having full on honors funeral. The admirals are going to come. Everybody's going to wear a dress uniform. Man dies, we'll leave his body in a parking lot. Literally, nobody gives a shit. We'll just walk around in a parking lot with a dead body over there that nobody cares about. I did like seeing, some of the women. I did like the ladies. That side. Well, it's not really so. We don't know Pike's situation, but that woman he's got in Montana, she's quite attractive. T'Pring, for what we saw, she was quite attractive. So, yeah, no.
But the women do outnumber the men in this series.
Oh, they do. Yeah. But you know what? I'm not going to complain about that, but that's because I'm a toxic man. To be truthful, I'd rather see a bunch of hot women than a bunch of dudes. I'm fine. I'm fine with Pike and Spock and one or two other dudes here or there and just hot women everywhere else. It's not real, but I'm okay with it. Hey, welcome, Captain Trek. Excuse me, Captain Fandom Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Fandom Nerd.
My question is, how did Pike go from not being used to women aboard on his bridge, to it being full of women?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a serious. It's just going to be one of those things they're going to ignore, because one of the little things we know about Pike, one of the few sentences he actually spoke in the cage, was him mentioning he has a problem with still getting used to having women serve aboard the starship, except for number one. He says, well, except for you, number one. He was still getting used to women in starships. So, yeah, you go from a guy who really don't want women serving with him, except this one woman who he trusts, to a guy who's got, 2/3 of his crew is now women. Maybe he's just working hard to overcome the fact that he didn't have women on his ship for a long time.
See, that's something that could be explained away in a single line, but
and then the stations were the stations on the bridge were rearranged too. I noticed that.
Yeah. Well, they just, I guess they figured the bridge is so different, they might not even. There's no reason to even pretend it's the same. Resolute Germ is in the house. Hello, Resolute. Gamers Guru 88 says, sorry I'm late. Just got back from work. No problem, Games Guru. Sorry I mispronounced your name. And my guess is you may have already moved on, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, Cinnabon Bunny is in the house. Qapla Cinnabon. Welcome. I spoke on all your points. I don't know if you were listening.
Yeah, I was listening.
Because there was a lot to go back over. So what's your thoughts, Cinnabon?
I don't like it, obviously. It's not okay. It's not. I guess it's not a terrible show if you just want to watch it and just not care about any of the canon of Trek. But other than that, it's just more Discovery level writing, just set on the Enterprise. And I think most people are just blinded by the nostalgia of having the Enterprise back on screen and having Pike back and Spock back. So
I think you hit on something there. If you just wanted something to call Star Trek, this gives you that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I honestly don't believe Discovery did. Discovery, I couldn't. I mean, you could call it Star Trek, but Discovery in no way whatsoever is Star Trek.
Right.
To me, it's all people and feelings and crying and hugs on the bridge.
And Samuel Kirk was never assigned to the Enterprise, right?
I honestly don't think we know. I don't think
like they have him assigned in this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Samuel Kirk, I didn't even get to that, but the Samuel Kirk was just a, hey, F you to the audience. Like, they're going to think it's Captain Kirk and it's going to be his brother.
They got me early on when they first mentioned it in the episode. I was like, wait, I thought they weren't doing that till season 2.
Right. They got me too. I also thought, oh, this was way early. I was like, well, maybe they'll just get it out of the way, or get kicked off the ship or something. I don't know. Right. But they got me. They got me with it. I'll give them that. They got me. But as to feeling like Trek, it did. I mean, I watched it a second time, and it does feel like Star Trek to a point.
And and what line did Noonan's saying repeat over of Khan's? She repeated a line of his, right? A saying of his?
Did she? She did.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have missed it.
But yeah, I thought it was convenient how Khan's daughter, survived.
That again, there's no way that makes any sense whatsoever that a descendant or any relation, somebody with any actual relation to Khan, serving on the Enterprise while Spock was on the Enterprise. And at no point does Spock in TOS or the movie say, Khan, I actually served with your descendant, blah, 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 Nulian Khan. And, he would have said, oh, really? What was she like? Or something. He would have said something. Probably like, she was the lone survivor from a colony of doomed by the Gorn. And maybe Khan would have liked the Gorn. You're like, who are these people? And where can I find them? They've made an enemy today. Maybe Khan would have been busy attacking the Gorn instead of attacking Captain Kirk. That would have been nice for somebody to bring that up.
Well, then he would have been attacking Kirk in order to attack the Gorn. So it still would have been, he would have still been trying to take over the ship.
Yeah, true. Powell.
But yeah, they're completely destroying the original series because they make this sound like it's a reboot of the original series because they use the exact same wording at the beginning and stuff like that. Like this is the 5-year mission of the Star Trek Enterprise. It's continuing mission to seek strange new worlds and all that mess, So it's like they're trying.
And I'll be honest, I was happy to hear. I was a little annoyed that they went with where no one has gone before, but Mom O'Prey was pissed. Mom O'Prey was done with it at that point. I was looking. As soon as they said where no one has gone before, I saw her. I put her thumbs down. Oh shit! That was it. You lost Mom O'Prey. No one has gone before. I'm a little more open-minded.
So in that Spock scene that we just were watching through, why wouldn't he just answer his communicator? Why would he go with the visual instead?
I mean, all of them that have changed it. It's
I'm sorry, Mom O'Prey is talking.
I'm sorry.
Mom O'Prey's ranting. Mom O'Prey started yelling about how they need to make it a different show. Don't call it Star Trek. Call it something else. Mom O'Prey got started. Sorry, Cinnabon, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear. So
yeah. No, I knew you.
In that Spock scene when Pike calls him on his communicator, why did he stick it in that dock for visual?
Oh yeah. And says, "Where's the camera?
Yeah,
where's the camera?" I mean, those communicators, we always saw them. We never saw a camera. And yeah, I think Spock was just showing off.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Cap, this is what you're it's about to get, son.
I mean, it was literally just to make that joke, so it just kind of pulls you out of the entire show at that point.
It's just Yeah, it was honestly just to show off, I think. Just to show off.
Such a Vulcan thing to do.
Hi, Charlie.
Open the cookies.
Oh, I'll open the cookies for you. Okay, I'm gonna mute for a second, guys.
Yeah, but yeah, Trek is now officially. Yeah, you might as well put a fork in it. It's done.
I don't mind the animated show still, but so far the live action ones have been terrible. I did like how the new bridge looked, but I thought, because I mean this set actually looked normal size, like how it should, but like I said, some of the other sets were just gigantic, and I was starting to wonder how everything actually fit inside the ship, unless it was a lot bigger than it actually looks on the outside.
Awkward silence. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Okay. Pavel Shazovsky, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, says it's all the same problems again.
So
they keep bringing up stuff from Trek without understanding what those are and mess up everything for those who know and care. And
yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to get the
previous knowledge.
We're going to get the episode where Spock fights for T'Pring.
I mean, why not? I guess they could fight again. Low Specs Linux Laptop says, "Howdy, folks. Just done streaming a great old Star Trek game. Very cool." Gap Stargate says, Qapla, Gap Stargate. And John DeMarco says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings, John." I'm surprised you're not up here, John. Hopefully you're doing your own video of I can't wait to watch. And you've got to put people in their place. I want names, John. Name the names. John Araki with $1 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. What do we got here?
I put on with you.
People saying hello to each other. Awesome. Admiral Saval is in the house. Qapla Admiral Saval. He says he loved the first episode of Strange New Worlds. That's good for you, Admiral. I personally not a fan, but I understand other people like it, and that's it's good for them. Captain Trek, excuse me, I'm sorry, Captain Fandom Nerd. It's going to take a little while, Cap. Captain Fandom Nerd says, "I think Salty has lost his mind using his 3-month membership as a Karogan orphan." Salty, Salty would admit he lost his mind, so it's not really worth. But I have a bone to pick with Salty next time I'm on this stream. I'm not going to get into it here because I don't want to be talking behind his back. I'll talk right in front of him. I just have to remember to do it next time I'm on one of his streams. Number one is back. I thought it was Salty. I would have said, "Oh, that was convenient." Welcome, number one. Yeah. Welcome back. John DeMarco says, "Cinnabon, he covered a lot of it already, but this episode was full of problems. Just one after another."
Well, yeah, it seems like they're going to redo the Ponfar episode already in this,
And that, I mean, I don't know if they're going to redo Ponfar, but I mean, it's pretty clear that, welcome, John DeMarco.
Greetings.
In Amok Time, it was pretty clear that was Spock's first Ponfar. He said that he had hoped it would, he would escape it, presumably because he was half human. So yeah, I mean,
He was also the size of this man's quarters. They're just palatial.
Also, in Amok Time, Spock was looking at a picture of T'Pring as a child. Why is he looking at a picture of her child if he just saw her a couple years ago?
That's how I started the stream. In fact, I had the video up of Spock going back and forth to the picture he was looking at, to being alone in his room, and like back and forth. I'm like, yeah, if he's looking at T'Pring as a 7-year-old child, even though he was, physically with her not all that long ago, then Spock is a bad person, if you know what I mean. A person who's not allowed to live too close to schools. Because there's no other explanation for why a grown-up Spock would be looking at the girl as a child if he was physically with the girl as an adult.
It's true.
I don't know.
And also, it says in Amok Time their marriage was arranged by their parents when they were 7 years old. There wasn't a marriage proposal between the two of them a couple of years before Amok Time.
Right. And that he said it's more than less than a marriage, but more than I would say more than engagement.
Right.
He called it nuptials. I
betrothal, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, Sis O'Prey. I didn't hear what you were saying.
I hope you guys are deep down some rabbit.
We are deep down a rabbit.
Also,
no, it is a show we're discovering. It is an episode of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. So
Can't talk about something less controversial like abortion.
No. Yeah, so we'll talk about something less controversial like
I thought it was pretty convenient.
Roe versus Wade. I'm kidding. What do you think, number one?
I was going to say, I thought it was pretty convenient how now Nurse Chapel can basically reconfigure everybody to look like the alien race that they're beaming onto.
Oh, my God. So don't even get me started. Okay, I understand the doctor can do cosmetic surgery to make people look like another race. And that has always been true in Trek for as far as I can remember. But that's not genetic. And there's a big jump from having a doctor surgically alter my face to look like an alien to altering my DNA so that genetically I appear to be a different race.
You mean like when they added, pointy ears on Kirk, so he appeared to be Romulan?
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Star Trek.
That was just, you could go to an ear doctor today and get them to reshape your ears if you paid them enough, probably.
Well, another thing that was really dumb in that scene was that she does Pike and Spock first. She gives them the injections. Nothing happens that entire scene with them.
Right.
It's supposed to be a sedative. They're obviously not sedated. So Lon should have had no problem taking just a painkiller, so it wouldn't hurt. But then she changes immediately.
Right. Right. Well, I guess the fact that there was no sedative just made it go faster. But the point is, if it's not that they fell asleep, the sedative clearly didn't knock them out.
Yeah, because
so if you're not being knocked out, what the hell's the
walked
point?
Over to her and had a speech. So,
right. Yeah, I could understand if they were going to go under to again to a point. I could understand if that was the deal because, you don't want to allow yourself to be put under. Okay, but yeah, that's not what they were doing here.
Right.
Are we supposed to just be okay with the fact that this clearly wasn't what they just described to us was about to happen? What about all this medicine? They're playing fast and loose Nobody's doing any testing. Nobody's doing any trial. The doctor just, yeah, well, I'll assume I can make something. I'll steal some DNA from one of the victims we beamed up here without their permission, and then just hope it works.
It honestly felt more like the doctor was assisting Qapla this entire episode. He didn't seem like the chief medical officer at all.
Yeah. Well, was Qapla even? Was she a doctor or a nurse?
I think she's a nurse still.
She's a nurse, but she's acting like a doctor.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right, because I mean, she's not supposed to be a doctor until the films. And I gotta be honest. And there she is. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's attractive, but she's not supposed to be there, and she is nothing like the Nurse Qapla that we know of on Enterprise, on TOS.
She did a great job chasing that guy through the ship when everybody else was just staring at him.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I mean, nobody yells, "Can you get him?"
Yeah, not one person tries to stop.
I mean, nobody notices that, hey, this person's not one of our races aboard the ship. Not wearing a uniform and anything like that.
And then they just get there, and all of a sudden, Uhura is just an expert on whatever sport she was talking about too, for some reason.
Well, I guess Uhura had been listening in to the, CNN or something.
Yeah, there was a game going on.
The fact she knew the team names was a little much, though.
I guess she knew which continent they were on. I have no idea, but that took a lot. I mean, a lot to accept, but whatever.
It's no big deal. She said use the sick bay transporter.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Let's put the sick bay emergency sick bay transporter. There's never been a transporter in sick bay. You just transport to sick bay. John, you said maybe instead of beaming medicine into his eyeball to fix a botched genetic manipulation, they should use surgical alteration, like old Trek. Yeah. And Resolute says, why do things like this and Inhumans keep happening to Anson Mount? I don't know what Inhumans is. That some other show?
That's a Marvel-related show that was apparently really bad.
Thank you. Gap Stargate says, doesn't the front of the Enterprise kind of remind you of Next Generation with all the viewing ports?
Yeah, I hate the wraparound around windows are annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll make a $5,000
I'll build it.
model from Eagle Moss. Pavel, is it Pavel? Pavel Shersky says, you keep forgetting that a new track light travels instantaneously. Well, it certainly seems very, very fast. Light is instant. Yep. John DeMarco, warp bomb from telescope is stupid. Well, they had such good telescopes, and they're so nifty. They were able to pick it up.
But where would they get the antimatter from?
Listen, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions for antimatter. Okay, I'm sure they've got an antimatter, producing building like we have. No, we have the that big circle thing in Switzerland, the collider, the super collider.
Ferris wheel.
No, it's not a Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
It's a super collider, and it creates, I believe it creates 0.0002 grams of antimatter a year. So,
Ooh.
I think they'll be well on their way to powering the warp bombs for use on their own population.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Where you want to go?
Nitpicker. Star Trek Nitpicker says, yeah, they almost killed Pike when he was on the horse. Why would they do that? Well, because Cinnabon was driving the shuttlecraft.
Well, if they were going for the
He
horse,
was
I'm
trying
okay
to
with
kill
that,
all
but-
the horses. Uh-oh, I pinned a random message. John Tamar was pinned message. If they wanted a black flag officer, they could have used Commodore Stone, but April is white. Yeah, why not that? Why not that?
Well, that would require a little bit of research on their part. And they have 30 seconds on Google.
I guess more people know Robert April. John also says there are references to the animated series and live action shows. Yeah, there are, but it's like more like pick and choose. Resolute Germ says the animated series is more canon than this crap series will ever be. I guess it remains to be seen, but I'm inclined to agree. Certainly, I hate that they keep going back to Discovery. Like, stop bringing up Discovery. Nobody wants to hear about Discovery. If we're watching you, we don't want to hear about Discovery. And Pike yelling to everybody, "Oh, it's classified." Like, if it's classified, you're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to tell everybody, "Hey, I got something, but it's classified. I know something that's classified." Like, everybody knows, oh, there's Captain Pike and his old classified story, even though I have more security clearance. Not for this, you don't. Miss Londell says the eugenics war was fought in the late 90s, right? And well, that was the old story. And then Khan left Earth in 1996. But then since there's been no eugenics war, they've been trying to figure out what to do with that. Hakeem is in the house, says it's not as bad yet. Hakeem, I guess it's in some ways it's worse in that it's insidious, in that it's hiding, and it's also worse in that people don't notice. So many people who I thought, and I'm not talking about the people who like Discovery or have open minds, but people who didn't like Discovery and people who didn't like Picard, at least not all of Picard, who realized what the hell was going on, and they're looking now at not Lower Decks, at Strange New Worlds, and they're like, "Yay! This is finally good. Trek is back, guys, girls. I wanted to be you. I promise you, I did. I wanted to say Strange New Worlds. Star Trek is back. Star Trek is saved. We're for the next 10 weeks at least. We're gonna have a good 10 weeks." And we'll find out, we'll figure out what happens from there. I wanted to do that. I really did. But this just isn't there. And I'm more confused as to people who are saying, yes, it is. And say, no, I still don't like Discovery. And I still don't like Picard. But Strange New Worlds, this is my Trek. My Trek is back. No, it's not. It's not, and you're gonna hate yourself when you realize what they're doing. Nitpicker says it's episodic. There is that. You know what? That's true. Episodic track is one thing that's better, and there's no Michael Burnham. That's two things that better. But is it written any better than your average Discovery episode? I'm not sure it is yet, and I really doubt it is. The only thing that's better is that there's no Michael Burnham.
My question is, are they going to keep bringing up the Pike death thing over and over again? Because it feels like they're going to be bringing this up constantly.
Right, and again, I don't know if if I finished my thought on that before. He didn't die.
No,
he didn't. Right. We know he lives a good life once Spock gets him to Talos 3.
4.
4. Talos 4. Thank you. So he doesn't die. At no point did he see his death. He might think he saw his death, but he didn't. He just saw him getting injured, horribly injured.
And in a
but not
wheelchair.
dead.
They got that right.
Right, but I might be a little insulted. Just because you're in a wheelchair, it doesn't mean you're dead yet.
Nope.
No, we saw people in wheelchairs serving aboard the Discovery. But, he'd probably rather die than serve on Discovery.
For all we know, he could still be alive in the 24th century with its illusions.
Yeah, I mean, probably. He probably has the best medical care a human can get at that point. John, you said Anson Mount is as good as Pike, but the writing is still terrible. Is good as Pike.
Yeah.
Not as, okay, gotcha.
I think he's a good actor, but he's wasted on this writing.
He is. I'd say he's a good actor. He's a great captain. He definitely has it. Whatever it is, he has it. For being a Trek captain, but he's stuck with terrible writers. Loki's Mornings of Mischief, Qapla Loki, says people are taking not as bad as a turning point. That's not how it is, unfortunately. That is the same CBS Paramount machine behind it. You know what, Loki? You're right, and I'll be honest. You've been saying this all along. You were saying this weeks ago, before Strange New World started, and I was honestly hoping you were wrong. I was like, "What is it, Loki? No, he doesn't know. He's guessing." And I'm like, "It's probably a decent guess, but I would have bet against you because I didn't want it to be right. I did not want you to be right, Loki, but you were. So, well played." Resolute Germ says, "So it's sold turds. It's sold turds instead of runny solid turds instead of runny turds." Yeah. Qapla Tiki. I'm sorry, Captain. Did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, well, we can still blame Loki because
hashtag blame Loki. Sure, absolutely. Guys, check out Loki's Mornings of Mischief in the mornings about, 9 a.m. Eastern?
9 Eastern, yes.
9 Eastern on a YouTube near you. Pop Culture Curator says, "Hail, Qapla Pop Culture Curator." And John DeMarco says, "I guess they forgot Pike doesn't die." Yeah. The accident isn't his death. It's just an accident. Substance D says hi Substance D. Qapla. Paul Walsharsky says, "I certainly am enjoying my night. Thanks for sharing thought." You so welcome. I hope you stick around. Rabbit Slug Ouchies Kronos is in the house. Says, "Oh F no, you can't be live." I am Rabbit Slug. I am. Hello. Rabbit Slug says, "Vertebrae, you sound fiery." Rabbit Slug, I was so angry these last 2 days that I couldn't get a video out and just get my thoughts out there. And I'm still a bit annoyed that this isn't going to be the video I hoped for, because the goddamn video isn't even playing right in the video player. The aspect ratio is still off because I obviously rushed through something, screwed something up. But I had to get out there. I had to start talking because in a few days we're going to be up for the next episode, and it would just be completely lost. And just hearing everyone else talk today and yesterday, and all the love they have, and like, "Oh, Star Trek is back. Star Trek is back." this is the track I like. This is the track I love. No, it's listen, if you love it, great, happy. But this is not the track. This is not 2005 track. This is not just the other day. John and I were talking about a random DS9 episode, right? It was a random, it was a season 7 episode. And it was once more unto the breach, which is where Kor, the Daha master, begs Worf for a command in the fleet. And there's a big problem between Kor and Martok. And it's just a random episode of DS9. And we both were struck by just how great now I believe that was a Ronald D. Moore written episode. So
yeah, I think so.
Ronald D. Moore is top when it comes to track writers. But this was just a random episode, and the writing that went into it is magnitudes, orders of magnitudes greater than anything I've seen since the end of Enterprise. And that would include Strange New Worlds. Now, I will grant you, Strange New Worlds, Season 1, Episode 1, is probably the best Trek since Enterprise ended, but it's still not great Trek. However, the truth is very few Season 1, Episode 1 episodes were great Treks. So the problem is all these other series, they had chances to grow without destroying other canons. And when you do a prequel like Strange New Worlds is, they can't grow, or they likely won't grow without ruining more canon. So it is a big difference to say, well, it took TNG 3 years to find their whatever it is. Whatever. It took TNG 3 years to start making great episodes. And maybe Strange New Worlds will take 2 or 3 seasons before they start making great episodes. But the problem is TNG wasn't destroying canon as they were making episodes. They were making new canon. Strange New Worlds, they have opportunity to destroy canon without making new canon. And that's just not right. Like, why? Why did it have to be the Gorn that killed this woman's family? Why did it have to be the Gorn? Just make up a new species. You have an infinite number of species. Just pull out some letters, go to your Wordle for that day. Like today's Wordle was a word that starts with M. And so just come up with a species that starts with M. We'll call it the Merkles. The Merkles destroyed her whole family. That's all you had to do. And now you don't give me any fodder or any reason to get upset that you destroyed Arena. It's not hard. You don't need to go back to other to species we already know, unless you were really filling in. But you didn't, or you couldn't. I don't know. I don't know if you purposely didn't know what you were doing was destroying Arena, or you did it on purpose. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. Either way, you fucked up Arena, you fucked up Amok Time, and there's probably others episodes you screwed up too. I'm just too angry to remember at the moment.
That really irritated me too. In fact, I made a quick video yesterday about Arena because the stuff with the Gorn was so annoying.
Oh, you did make a video?
Yeah. I
didn't see it.
It was just the clips from the new episode talking about the Gorn compared to how the Gorn were described in Arena.
I have to check that because I know I'm I'm subscribed to you with the bell on. So I'll double check that. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people got to remember this stuff. Rabbit Slug says, I need to eat food. So later, taters, take care. Pronos. John, you said it's like they are trying to break continuity as much as possible. Yeah, why? Somebody answer me. John says the Gorn were never shown to eat people. Yeah, honestly, I figured the Gorn were just like any other species. They're not overly evil. They're like, okay, Romulans or Klingons, or okay, maybe those are bad examples, but Cardassians at least. If you kill us, we kill you. You put a base in our space, we kill the people. And Kirk, he was ready to kill them back. So it's like, it's not the Gorn's fault that they had their space invaded. I mean, yeah, they did a shitty way of dealing with it, but it's not unheard of shitty. Hector says, hashtag, the Gorn did nothing wrong. I don't know I'd go that far. Mako says, Bird, don't try to explain something Akiva Goldman came up with. You'll get an aneurysm. I might. John, you said Strange New Worlds portrays them as monsters. They do. Even Enterprise, to a point, displayed kind of portrayed them as monsters. But and people were like, oh, they were in Enterprise. They're in Enterprise. Yeah, but they were in the mirror universe of Enterprise. They were never in the regular universe of Enterprise. So, yeah, the mirror universe, they could have been known. That doesn't break any canon.
This station is stupid huge.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. The domes are ridiculous. They have literal mountains inside of them.
Well, didn't you hear? They grew those mountains in space.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Because of course mountains just grow in space. I think was this the first Trek to show cities on the moon? I thought
so, yeah.
I think that was I don't think we've ever seen lights on the moon before. And this was the first Trek to show us that there were cities on the moon. Poor Charlie. He hit his leg into the wall. Mago says Strange New Worlds is made by the same people who made a Kurtzman track. So not sure what you expected. I expected quality. Actor says, should I watch this episode? Is there a file in my computer taunting me? There's a file on my computer taunting me to open it. Actor, if you've got it, watch it. I if you've got nothing else to do, I'm not saying, throw it out and burn it. I'm just saying this is not the Star Trek I wanted. That's all I'm saying. This is not the Star Trek I wanted. It's not Star Trek, period.
Regarding the moon, they didn't show a city exactly, but in Enterprise, they did show some mining facilities on the moon.
Oh, yeah, that was the one that blasted off and then moved to bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Gap says, sorry, Bird, I deleted 2 of mine posts because apparently talking into my phone does not go good and makes no sense. So hopefully you'll skip them. Okay, sounds good, Gap. Hope you keep up the videos, though. Loki says, preach, brother, Bird, preach. Qapla again. Resolute says, delete the file, Hector. You shouldn't suffer like Bird has. Hector says, okay, he's deleting it. Mr. Trent, Qapla, Mr. Trent. Technically, Pike was led to number 1 by new number 1. True. I guess. Wait, which is the original? Actor assented, says, so I will rewind this stream and watch it from start and suffer vicariously through Bird. Whatever you prefer, Actor. It is, I gotta say, it was a 55-minute episode, which, okay, probably 52 without the extended credits. Miss Lundell says, new track, empowering women over men. That's why it fails. Mr. Trent says, woman bridge crew is women 7-3 on men. 100. Yeah, probably. I didn't count, but certainly more. Gap says the men in new track are the new red shirts. That's true. That's true. Being a man is the new red shirt. John, you said including attractive women doesn't make it a good story. No, it does not. But it does make watching it a lot easier. Yeah, Resolute says but it doesn't hurt.
That's what they're hoping for.
Mako says, why are we so focused on women? Just biology, Mako. Mako says the series is badly written. It is not about women, minorities, or whatever. No, it's not about them, but when there's nothing else to do. John says somebody must have reported Pike's comment to HR, so Starfleet assigned a bunch of women to the bridge. That makes sense. That makes sense. Mako says that line was written in the 60s, and all those actresses were from the 60s, and that's why you couldn't find one that classy to play any of them today. Mr. Trent says, why helm and navigation manned by red shirts instead of gold? I didn't even notice that. At one point they said you have the com, the com, C-O-M. And I was like, did he say com? And I went to the closed captioning and confirmed that he said com, you have the com. The correct word is, of course, con, C-O-N-N. And I'll be honest, I didn't know exactly what it meant, but I did know it was con, C-O-N-N, and never com. They don't say you have the com. You don't have the com. What the fuck does com even mean? What, the computer command? No, there's no such
Com
thing.
would be communications, which would be Uhura station.
Right. So there is no such thing as you have the com. They literally just, the writers effed up and the editors didn't fix it. The line is you have the con, because con, C-O-N-N, is a word that exists, and it's basically means steering. It's like you have the physical ability to steer. You could steer a ship or whatever. You have the con, and it's used in naval tradition. Well, yes and no.
I'm not saying that's what it means, but I mean that's essentially
that's presumably, from what I read, presumably it came from the word controls or something to that effect. But it's actually just a word right now, C-O-N-N. It's its own word that means steering, and it's used in naval vocabulary. You know, when giving somebody command, you're literally giving somebody the control to steer the ship. So, you know, you're not giving them the physical wheel, but that's why it's said in the Navy, you have the con. So, yeah, I don't want to become a Darren Wagner here, but I want to.
They also said during his speech with the leaders of that alien planet that plasma torpedoes were 21st century.
Right? Yeah. Well, where are our plasma torpedoes?
Classified.
We don't have,
yeah. Everything's classified. That's how you explain it.
They didn't say when in the 21st century, so that could technically be in the
The end of the 21st.
In the 90s.
Yeah, but then why wouldn't Archer ship have plasma torpedoes instead of those ridiculous rocket torpedoes they had?
Because they're expecting real Trek out of the garbage.
And those torpedoes made it up to orbit really quickly.
Yeah.
Considering what we have today.
Well, they learned how to do that through looking through the telescopes, remember?
Well, right. Yeah, they're probably shot them out of the telescopes, so it made them go fast. Get the speed of light boost. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says Qapla Bird of Prey just got back from a busy Saturday. So how bad is Strange New Worlds? Well, it's pretty rough, in my opinion. And I would say most of the panel's opinion. However, I just to be fair, we seem about split. I would say the community is about split. Mr. Londell says none of this dribble is Star Trek. I agree. And John DeMarco says Samuel Kirk was not in Starfleet in the original series. He could have left. He could have left. I mean, of all the things to complain about, the fact that Samuel Kirk was in Starfleet at this time isn't one I'm going to yell about, but I am just yelling that they just wanted to deceive us as viewers.
Yeah.
That was pretty shitty of them. Mr. Trent says this is a reboot of the 2009 film. John says he's a civilian scientist. Gap Stargate says, I hope if there's an STD season 5, there is, that the last season, even though I don't watch it. I believe this is going to be their final and 5th season, but we don't know. We'll see. Daniel Hall says Kirk's father served on the Enterprise under April as chief security in a couple of books, including Best Destiny. Yeah, I didn't even think it could be, but this is definitely his brother, not his father. Mago says, am I taking crazy pills? These are hack writers. Why are we talking about this now? They've been writing this for 6 years. Well, there was hope that things would be different. John says Kirk's father did in the books, but now not his brother. Not his brother. Smith Lindell says Spock does the Nancy dance. He was about to, and it clearly wasn't his first time. Larry says man can't mean mankind anymore. Exactly, Larry. And it doesn't make sense as saying anyone, because who would want they don't go exploring empty planets. They go exploring civilizations. They want there to be new people. They want there to be people. If you're going to explore new people, there have to be people. So it's not that no one has been there. It's just that no human has been there. Hence the term man. Miss Lindell says, and what the hell is going on with Pike's hair? It looks like a skunk climbed up his head at that. That's true enough, Miss Lindell. True enough. Let's start that up from there. Can I get a little bit better picture of his hair?
Even producer. Where are we going?
Wow, that picture's nice. We'll stop. We'll just let it go from there. Yeah, his hair looked a little weird. But overall, that's the thing. He plays a good captain. He really does. I just wish I just wish everything else was better. Logan 1 says, yeah, I think Lower Decks is pretty great. I think a few episodes are really good of Lower Decks. Daniel Hall says Spock's first Ponfar was in Amok Time. He hadn't dealt with T'Pring since their bonding as children. Exactly. M. Brando says it looked better than it did on Disco and Short Track. The Enterprise? For sure. Yeah. Although the Disco Enterprise wasn't terrible, this is nicer. Let's see. Skip to some orange chats. Larry says Kirk as a Romulan steals the cloaking device. Yeah, and nobody's gonna tell me he had genetic changes. He had his ears extended and his eyebrows waxed. Probably, hopefully, he was sedated for that. Ion's in the house. Qapla Ion says, Bird of Prey, watch them have Spock change his future from not going into the chair. Watch them have Spock change his future. Oh, Pikes. I mean, it's possible. I mean, anything is up. Anything's possible. Star Trek Nitpickers has put up spoiler-free review of episodes 1 and 2 and a link. Yeah. Well, even if you've seen it spoiled, it's still worth watching. I see Judge Zia is mentioned in the chat, but I don't know in what. Arabic says, wow, Bird is way behind in the chat. He's so nice to read them all. Well, at some point I had to jump ahead. Jedi Bill's in the house. Says, hello, Bird of Prey, Qapla, Brother Warrior, Qapla, Jedi Bill. Dr. Alex says, Qapla, Bird of Prey. Hello, Captain Fandom Nerd. Qapla, Dr. Alex.
Qapla.
Star Trek Nitpicker says, new track is written by people who know the Gorn are aliens on old track. They don't know anything about them other than how they look, but hey, they saw a picture on YouTube. And Vasquez rocks. So nice to see that in arena. Hey, the Random Menace says, greetings, middle-aged men who do not understand modern writing and live in the past. Hey, I don't have to take that from you.
You middle-aged man who lives in the future.
More cats. More cats for Yosef. I want my track to be good track. Spike is in the house. Qapla Spike says, I feel bad for the actress who plays Ortega. I followed her on Twitter and her husband died recently. Oh, that is very sad. Well, you know what? I don't wish that obviously on anybody. And she had, I don't have anything against her. I have zero against her. She's fine. I'm not going to go after her. I'm not going to make fun of her in any way. She got a job, and she doesn't seem terrible at it. She just is not reading the lines I would wish. Well, to be honest, she's not reading the lines I'd want her to read, but that's fine. It's not her fault. Star Trek Nitpicker says, "Com is communications." Yeah, it is, but it's what they say is con. It's a Navy word. Yes, thank you, Larry. And Dr. Alex says, I now see Kirk shouting, "Con!" Yes, take the con. Nid figures says, although the origin of the term is not entirely clear, it appears that con is shorthand form of conda. Wikipedia. And Wikipedia, I'll fix Wikipedia. Nid figures says the con, also spelled connie, con, is the status of being in control of a ship movements while at sea. Larry says the Enterprise and all of its workings are based on Navy operations. Indeed. And Dr. Alex says, oof, past midnight, time to unleash a vid. Very cool, Dr. Alex. I'm surprised you wait. Well, I guess for you, if you like being up, it's not a big deal. You could just schedule it. 47 Yorktown says another season of Discovery. No. Jacques Constant says, what kind of Klingons will be in Strange New Worlds? That is an excellent question, Jacques. Is it Jacques or is it Jack? I'll call you Jacques. Jacques, excellent question. If the Klingons are anything but TOS or TNG Klingons, then I will be extremely, extremely angry that day. I've yet to see Klingons. I didn't notice any Klingons in the coming up during this season. Did anybody notice what the Klingons look like?
I thought I heard they released a promo photo of a couple, but I can't find it anywhere.
'I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
54.5 Access Radio says hashtag more cats for Joseph and puts in a whole bunch of cat emojis. Yeah. Dr. Alex has now released the video. Very cool, Dr. Alex.
Oh, here we go. Not that. Yeah. Oops. This was a photo they put out earlier, a month ago or so.
That's a Klingon? Huh. I thought that turned out to be somebody playing somebody I don't know, a fan. I thought that turned out to be a fan photo.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know. I thought I saw that. But yeah, I thought that was going around Twitter, but turned out to be fake. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Okay. Did anyone else have anything they want to say about Strange New Worlds? Season 1, episode 1.
Up in the air.
Do we have a title for this? Let me look.
The title is really creative. The episode was called Strange New Worlds.
It was. Okay. That's why I couldn't find it easily. Thank you. Thank you, John. So this is the show they would have called Enterprise had there not been one called Enterprise. At least that's what the rumors are.
What?
Yeah.
That was originally rumored. Whether it's true or not, we don't know.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We didn't even get to meet the new engineer this episode either.
No, he just beams in at the end.
That's right, yeah.
They didn't have time for the engineer. He's just a guy. There's no time.
I'm going to be honest. I think it's dumb having another blind character to be the chief of engineering. I mean, what happens when there's like an emergency situation? I mean, having a blind person being in charge just doesn't seem like the smartest idea.
Is he blind?
He's an ANR. Aren't they supposed to be all blind?
They're supposed to be, but I figured they were just breaking canon again.
Well, it's possible. I think he is supposed to be blind.
I know. To me, it just seems absurd to have like someone that's blind being, in charge of an entire.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't really make sense. Geordi had, corrective vision or whatever.
Right, and honestly, that was barely believable because when they showed Geordi vision on the view screen, it was completely terrible. You couldn't tell what anything was. So that to me would have been barely believable.
I figured his whole brain was used to whatever he was thinking. It only put the ship in trouble 2 or 3 times. So, it probably wasn't the smartest idea to have technology.
He just got the Enterprise blown up. It's no big deal.
Oh. Anyway, anybody else have anything to say before we go? Sorry to cut it shorter than usual, but nephew O'Fray is acting up.
No, this was fun. It was nice talking to you guys again. Hopefully the show will actually get better in the coming weeks, but I'm not getting my hopes up at all.
Yeah, I mean, I will watch, but I hope it does get better, but I doubt it will.
Yeah.
At this point. Cinnabon, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thanks for having us on, Bird.
You're welcome, John. John, love to have you anytime. Captain Fandom Nerd, everybody, formerly known as Captain Trek. What do you got going on, Captain?
I'm planning on having coffee tomorrow.
Good for you. Some Sunday morning coffee.
Correct.
Captain Fandom Nerd. What were you saying?
I finally had enough of Trek. I can't have it in my name anymore.
I understand. I understand. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Star Trek nitpickers, Qapla, guys. Random Menace is still a better blind engineer than a blind sniper. Farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Mike Richards. Larry says, let's blow up the Enterprise before every commercial break again. Indeed. Qapla all, Bird, and panel out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Bird of Prey 5 needs. At the main Bird of Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Bird of Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Bird of Prey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.